what I'd like to talk to you about, which has been the core of my work for a book I published a few years ago, is to take a look at the cultural forms that accompany the representation of Italians in film and before film, particularly around the turn of the 20th century. I do believe that these forms remained, took different sort of shape, were not totally put aside, and are even to be found, in more recent forms of representation on TV, on film, and other media. But I think they found a formal and ideological maturity at the turn of the century, particularly when Italians moved out of the peninsula and became immigrant. Let me put it this way: picturesque, what does it mean? First of all, is a term that emerged in the late 17th, early 18th century. So it's way before cinema. And what does it mean is, if I use a term, a definition of the time, it means agreeable in pictures. What does it mean? It means that it looks good in a picture. It's like the equivalent of photogenic before the camera was invented. Meaning there are some subject matter that look good if you represent them in a painting or in a picture. Just like there are some subjects that look good. They may ugly as hell in real life, but they may look good if, right, they become the subject of a photographic representation. Two assumptions to be sort of debunked. The first one is that cinema is accurate as a form of representation because of its photographic form. In other words, differently from painting, which invents a world, the film camera, just like the camera in general, the still camera, captures a world that is out there. There are different theorizations about this. One is obviously the indexicality. It's as if, the light of a camera, the light of of an environment hits the film that is inside a camera and reproduces a reality that is out there. My whole lecture is that just because we think that a photograph is accurate in its representation of the world, doesn't mean that that photograph, in a number of ways, in terms of what's in front of the camera, how it's being shot, reproduces forms, rules, codes that precede the invention of the camera. So we shouldn't be fooled into thinking that a photograph, or even more, a film about a landscape or a population, returns us an accurate representation of that landscape, of that population, simply because it's photographic. We shouldn't.